Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. Your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use. Like, what was that rustling sound you may have heard in the background a second ago? Well, that's my wife Diana. She's going to be eating crunchy things, and in case you were getting worried, no, I'm not going to do the entire video with my Venom had? I was supposed to say hood. Hat? No. Part of my hoodie. It's the hood part of the hoodie. We sell these on shop.lockergnome.com, and I was going to wear this during the entire broadcast today, which is live on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. And then I realized, it's dark. The background's kind of dark too, and I didn't want to blend in with the background. So there you go. It's a product review for you if you happen to be a Venom fan. Sorry for all you arachnophobes like me. Just showing that everybody can overcome their fears eventually. I'm going to go ahead and set that there. There we go. Chris Pirillo in whiteness. This is actually proof that I'm not as white as you thought I was. Wearing this real white, as opposed to Pirillo white, which is kind of a glow, a glistening, really. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks again for remembering to like, comment, share, subscribe. And by the way, when you do comment, I do my best to reply to many comments. I can't reply to every single one of them, unfortunately, because that's almost like a full-time job, which it would be great if I didn't have like a zillion other things going on throughout my day. So I do my best to reply to comments. So when you leave a good comment, I do engage. Like I was on Facebook earlier. I made a status update that, let's see if I can remember the quote exactly. I should probably just pull it up. The world doesn't need more great ideas. It needs more great implementations, or something along those lines. And I think I know the point I was trying to make, but unfortunately I don't think it came across. Like, some people said, no, you still need great ideas. Well, I'm not saying we don't need great ideas. I'm just saying that there are a lot of great ideas that are just poorly executed. And I didn't want to say more executions, because that sounds weird too. But like, poor implementations of great ideas. So many good ideas. I mean, I know people come up with ideas all the time. You know what you should do is this. Oh, you know what a good idea is X. I'm like, you're right. That's a great idea. But who's going to do it? How's it going to get done? Is it going to work? And so it's a good idea, but without an implementation, all we have is a good idea. Okay. There are even bad ideas out there. And so good ideas can spring out of bad ideas. My point is, it's not just the idea, it's the implementation. And that thought got completely lost in the course of the conversation, which went everywhere. So sometimes I shouldn't just share my thoughts. I should either think about them more and execute on them properly before I get executed, or come up with better ideas, or somewhere in between. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to the 537 patrons as of today. This list of people to give credit for at that level of patronage or higher, because we have different levels that you can join and become a patron on ChrisPirillo.com, which is a redirect to patreon.com/Chris Pirillo. Links in the video description. I'll run through the list of credits updated today. It happens every month or so, but let me first dive a little deeper into some of the bigger bits of news to float out across the web today, including the Fire TV. If you wanted to fire your TV, you could, because it may suck. Good idea, horrible implementation. No. Amazon has released the Fire TV. This is a lot like a Chromecast or an Apple TV or a Roku, but not exactly. I have already ordered mine. See, you look, instant order update for Christopher Pirillo right there. The link is in the video's description. No, that was not my hair. Just FYI, that was someone else's hair. Interesting take on the idea of a digital TV, this addition to your existing TV set, so long as you have an HDMI port. Most people seem to, if you happen to have a newer TV, a newer-ish TV. The way that Amazon's approaching this, I think, is very smart. Number one, good price point, $99. That's geek impulse buy range for me to give it a shot, especially when it's a flagship product and from a known quantity like Amazon. Voice search, that's nice. So instead of having to fumble around with a remote control, which it does come with, just a few buttons, a little more complicated than an Apple TV with the remote control, but they kind of address that by enabling voice search. How well that works, who knows? It's not the idea, it's the implementation. So voice search, also support for Amazon's free play or free time. Free play or free time. I got to get this straight. I call it, I've said it both. There we go. Free time, that's it. It's a part of Amazon's ecosystem for parents so that their kids could be on set schedules. They only get access to certain types of content through that set-top box. It's a square-looking boxy thing. Almost looks like this box, only that tall. It's very boxy. Doesn't need to be sexy, though. It's just a component. Less curved than the Apple TV. There's another differentiator. But that free time, I think, is going to be a big bonus for parents. I very much am looking forward to giving that a shot. If you already have an Amazon Prime subscription, it makes a lot of sense because you can access your Prime Video through this Fire TV device. Oh, here, I can just hold it up right there. Right there. Popcorn not included, by the way. But it does support Netflix, Hulu Plus, a few other larger content vendors, and of course Amazon's instant video independent of your Prime subscription. It is spec'd to the gills as far as these devices are concerned, faster, more capacity in terms of RAM or memory storage, that way. Not necessarily on-device storage, but like storage for memory? No, that doesn't make sense. Memory, not storage. My bad. Hang on. This is a perfect time to take a sip of water. Thank you, honey. A huge selection of content. How well it will work, how well it will fit in, I don't know. Is having a spec'd out box like this great? Yeah, sure. I'm not going to say it's horrible, but it's not just the hardware, it's the software, it's the experience. The Chromecast weighs in at what, $30 or so? This is $100. Apple TV's $100. And I don't know if I would compare them all equally, right? You want to access Pandora from your TV? I do believe, unless I'm mistaken, that Amazon's Fire TV is the only one that will do it at this point in time. That particular service, if you happen to like Pandora. When you buy it, it's automatically associated with your Amazon account. Very, very convenient. I kind of wish that Google did the same thing. I wish Apple did the same thing. Roku is kind of in a different universe there. Probably the biggest advantage right now of the Fire TV in terms of a consumer's perspective is that it's enabled for gaming out of the box. You can buy a separate game controller, which I did do, and you get like a bonus game with it. So I figured, sure, why not? We'll give it a shot. I tried the Ouya, was disappointed. We will see if Amazon can do gaming this way better than any other Android type experience in a console. Again, I'm not just interested in the hardware, but the software, the experience, stem to stern. Is this a good product? We don't know. I tend to ignore the hardware specs and really dive deeper into that overall experience. Is it something I want to use on a regular basis? The Chromecast, after I got it set up, we don't use all that often, honestly. We have iOS devices, and so we're very happy with Apple TV. Nothing is going to supplant AirPlay. And I keep telling people, the only reason I think Apple TV is worth $99, forget, all the shows and the things you can do with Apple TV right now. The only reason I like the Apple TV is because of AirPlay. Diana wanted to watch something. She was watching on her phone. She said, here, come here. I'm like, just sneeze it up to the AirPlay on this TV. Right there. And we were both watching it on the big screen. Easy, simple. Now, Amazon has something very similar to that, and they will be enabling that on the Kindle Fire, and I believe they've also pre-announced at least, support for iOS devices, kind of like Chromecast as well, because Google has Chromecast enabled as long as it's on your network, like local Wi-Fi network. The YouTube app on iOS supports Chromecast. But I just think that AirPlay or AirPlay mirroring has by far been the best implementation of what I've been looking for app support. I can, mirror my iOS device. I can mirror a Mac up to an Apple TV, and I just can't get that in a seamless experience that's easy to use, ready to go with any other vendor, any other product. So big deal for me. Gonna give it a shot. I'll let you know what I think. It should get here Friday. What I may end up doing is recording a live to tape version of an unboxing and initial setup and experience, and the patrons will be able to tune in for that live and in real time, and then of course we will let it be viewed by the rest of the world when it's no longer live. Speaking of patrons, let me just go ahead and check here. Yeah, I was looking at the live comments to make sure they're rolling in. Hey, hi, I'm the director, producer, talent guy, everything stem to stern at this point in time with this video, so you gotta forgive me. On regards to the games, asks Ryan Underwood, will the Fire TV be running Android? Yes, it is running and it's not Android, it's running They're calling it Mojito. That's their forking of Android. So it is running Mojito. What? Why are you laughing at Mojito?
That's a funny name.
It's not a funny name.
Now we're going on to alcoholic drinks.
You have to be an alcoholic drink in order to be considered. I don't know. Can you guys hear Diana crunching in the background? She likes those kind of chips. Those are the different kind of chips. Are you trying to crunch closer to the microphone there? What? Yes? Yesterday.
We talked about the camera in cars.
Oh, yeah, the backup camera in cars.
More people thought that was an April Fool's joke than thought that was real.
Really?
So was it?
No, that wasn't an April Fool's Day joke. I even put the link in the video description.
Wow.
Did I even do... Oh, I did one April Fool's Day joke in yesterday's broadcast. What was it? Not the vlog. The vlog had an April Fool's Day joke. I did one in the broadcast.
I missed it. Didn't I?
Oh, God, it was so in your face. I had March 32nd, 2014. I don't think anybody called me on that. Maybe you did. Maybe I missed that comment. That was the only joke that I did in the live stream yesterday. So that is about enough of that. The other big set of announcements, this is like the antithesis of yesterday's broadcast, a very slow news day, which, by the way, I'm very grateful you guys tuned in for. At the beginning of the broadcast, the view of the Phosphor Watch, which I showed off, did unfortunately not make it into the final cut because it was streamed live, but it didn't stick. And I wanted to give you guys a nice view of the high quality that went into... I don't know if I'd go as far as calling this a smartwatch. I don't know what makes a smartwatch, but it's certainly smarter than the average watch. You can even change the faces if I scroll up. Oh, I gotta unlock it first. Give me a second. Press unlock. Swipe up. Look at that. It's an analog face right there. If I can reflect it the right way. Scroll up again. There's another watch face. Not exactly like the Pebble, but you know what? That's not a bad thing at all because I know plenty of people who've been very disappointed with their Pebbles, if only because of customer service. Don't want to dive into it right now. Talk to Barnacles Nerdgasm about what he thinks about Pebble and check out the Phosphor Watch. I'll be sure to put a link for this again in this video's description like I did yesterday. I apologize that we had some network congestion on this end of things. So now I am going to tell you something very brief because I wanted to cover this today before getting into Microsoft's array of announcements, really, because I want to do that in the second half of this broadcast. Twitter, by way of the web, can now allow you to see emoji. So normally you would have to use Safari on OS X or Firefox on OS X to see emoji natively, maybe even an iOS device, right? You can see emoji on there. But now you could be using pretty much any client, pretty much, not every one of them, by way of the web. So if I go to the web page for the tweet, I could see the emoji. Let's go ahead and test this here. Which Android device do I have power to right now? Oh, apparently not that one. Gosh, these devices just die fast. Better be sure not to, thank you, honey, not to show that one again. Boy, that was almost catastrophic yesterday. Maybe I don't have a powered up Android device right now. I was doing some testing with them earlier, and so I may be fully... You just try it yourself. Go to the link in this video's description. I'd show you on my iPad right now, but unfortunately it's iOS, so it supports emoji natively. You can now see it. In fact, someone was doing that. Oh yeah, powering off. I booted it up only to be powered off there. I need an external battery again. I don't... You guys, no, they can do it. They'll do it. Go look on your own for that. I thought that was kind of neat. Emoji for everybody by way of the web. Don't look at through a client. Go to a web page, an actual web page, and you should see emoji. Someone from Windows, a Windows phone actually tweeted it and showed, and so I know it works. If Windows Phone supports it, pretty much anything I would say supports it. Let me go ahead and run through the list of credits here as I do another product view before launching into the array of... Yay! Something else worked. Oh, that makes me happy. I've showed these products before too. Sorry, I want to give a full 15 minutes or so to the Microsoft announcements. They were rather large today. I have been using, although you may not have been seeing me use them, the jackets and the products that Scotty Vest had sent, including this one, the SEV, right here. Very, very lightweight. I cannot wait to use this in spring. Very lightweight. An insane amount. Let me see the exact number of pockets in this thing. If you're carrying products, and by the way, they make these for women too. If you're interested.
Yeah,
You interested in trying a product? You'd like this?
I can wear that one.
You could wear this one too, yes, but this one's really for me. 13 pockets. It's a lot of pockets. Certainly a lot more pockets than the hoodies that I know of. In fact, you're gonna love this. They also sell underwear. What are you giggling at?
I can't wear that.
If you want to see my underwear, well, now you have. They got pockets in the underwear. So when you're traveling and you don't want to take things out of your pockets, or you want to make sure you have them on you, you don't want to get pickpocketed, right? Put them in your underwear. No one is going to reach down in there, except for you. And you shouldn't be doing that in public. High quality stuff, really. And so I always, have been looking to, for reasons, or really excuses, to wear these types of jackets, which works very well when you're at conventions, you're traveling, you're going around, and you don't want to be limited by the pockets in your pants. There's also this vest. This is the Quest vest. And let's see, how many pockets does this one have? This one has tons, too. Give me a second. 42 pockets on this vest. 42 pockets. So you'll be seeing me wearing some of these Scotty vests in coming videos. I obviously wouldn't have much use for it here in the home office, but certainly as I travel and go to larger conventions where I'm not doing cosplay, I never do cosplay really, you will be seeing me wearing those jackets. And I think what it boils down to really for Scotty vest, it's quality. And it's kind of like, it's not the idea, it's the implementation. And I think Scotty Vest has nailed that quality bar. There's a reason why a lot of the people that I know wear Scotty Vests when they are traveling, if only because of all those pockets. But it's knowing that you've got a quality product. It's not the idea, it's the implementation, which would be a great title for today's video. But I don't think that'll be something that people will be looking for. They'll be looking for the Microsoft announcements. And are you gonna try one on?
Well, it's light for the rain.
Yeah, the lighter jacket is very light for the rain. The other vest is a bit heavier, but still very, very worthwhile. 42 pockets.
I don't have one pocket right now.
Diana, you need pockets.
I can go from 0 to 42 in 1 second.
I don't know if you guys caught that. She can go from 0 to 42 in 1 second. Thank you. Your name could be here, minus the notification about the Vlogger Fair call that I have to do with my team. Let me kick in the tick screensaver. Someone made this. It's a lot nicer than looking at the blank screen. And now I can turn that one on too. I'm turning on my monitors. All right, so let's go ahead and do David Bates says, I still say you need to do a Dark Helmet cosplay. If someone makes that for me, I will go as Dark Helmet. I promise you. But I couldn't make a Dark Helmet cosplay on my own. I'm not a crafty kind of guy. I could wear one of those jackets, though. It's kind of Dark Helmet-y. You don't even know who Dark Helmet is, do you, hun?
No.
Oh, you poor child. Who is an adult, not a child. She's having a child. Just saying I'm not. We're adults. I'm going to move on now. With the array of announcements to come out of Build, Microsoft's event, really geared towards developers. And, I've written these down. I've got the links for you in the video's description. I put these links, by the way, for all the patrons watching live. The links that I'm talking about are already posted to the Patreon page, so you guys get a real true sneak preview of what I want to cover during an average broadcast. Microsoft Windows, is now set to be free on phone. There's a qualifier on phones and tablets with screens smaller than 9 inches. So did you hear that? If you have, let's say, a Windows phone like this, or a device, or you want to make a device that has a screen this big, 9 inches. This is certainly smaller than 9 inches here, the screen. Windows could be free for you. That is, wow, spectacular. They're eliminating that license fee for Windows. Now, it's a big move for Microsoft to make. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Sorry, I'm still going to have a problem with my... I can feel the tingles and it's not coming. I need to sneeze and I can't.
Look at the light.
That never helps. All right, you guys were spared a sneeze, at least for now. Big news, really. Microsoft freeing up that license and making it free, effectively, for manufacturers to design Windows devices, as long as the screen's smaller than 9 inches. Freeing up a lot of budgetary constraints for those devices. It remains to be seen of whether or not that's going to increase Windows adoption on those smaller devices, or it's interesting, it's nice, but is it too little too late. And I don't know. I think it's a great move, because certainly, I mean, you're looking at making a device, you want to put Windows on it as a device manufacturer, but you don't want to do it because you don't want to pay the license. Well, Microsoft's eliminating that for this type of device. I think that's a fantastic move for them to make, certainly. You should, as a result, as a consumer, you should see far more Windows devices in the coming years because of this change in game plan, and I think it's very smart. I just don't know whether or not it's going to be too little too late. And I would say this is a shot across. It's a shot across Google's bow with Android. There's the Nexus product. Here's the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. Samsung's got their own thing now, Tizen. I don't expect them to be promoting Android for too much longer. But, you look at, let's say, okay, let's pull out an HTC device. Let's go with the one, right? HTC's going, we want to make a phone. Well, let's go with Android because, that's not really going to cost us as much as it would cost us to go with Windows. But it no longer is a cost for those types of devices. And I think it's a smart move. I think it's a few years late. Everyone gets a free Xbox One and $500 to use in the Microsoft Store if you went to build. Sorry if you did not get to go. You would have had that. I mean, really. Sorry. Hun, improv.
Bless you.
No. I mean, I gotta. Hun, I need your help.
Here, I'll say the next headline.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still getting over a cold, guys. Oh, it's nasty.
All right, let's talk about this cool watch.
Honey, I already covered the watch. Thank you. Everyone, Diana.
I'll model it.
Helping her sick husband. You guys wonder why I've been trying to expand my team. It's so that when I sneeze, someone other than my wife can come and rescue me. I appreciate that. Thank you, honey.
Nice.
Yeah, well, go ahead and wear it. You can. It's a phosphor watch.
Velvety.
Yeah, if I didn't point it out, it's from Phosphor. They sent it to us. Phosphor. What's a phosphor?
What?
It's for wearing. That's what it's for. That's my thing. They didn't make it. Okay. I swear to God, Windows did not just give me a virus. That was not a Windows virus. And for whatever it's worth, what is Microsoft Defender defending you from? Wicked just had a chip or something. Did he eat a chip or a Lego brick? All right, so sorry if you didn't get the Xbox One or $500 gift certificate. Windows 8.1 Update 1, the spring update, is geared towards mouse and keyboard users, and it's going to be available next week, April 8th, by way of Windows Update. So if you have Windows 8.1 already, go to Windows Update a week from now and update. The biggest bit of news for the Windows 8.1 Update 1, or the spring update, is specifically in relation to how they are enabling it with, for better usage by traditional mouse and keyboard users. But they're bringing back the Start menu. Sorry, this is not about the Starks, even though Game of Thrones is starting up again on Sunday. I will be there watching as live could be for Game of Thrones. So, Start menu is coming back in Windows. They're allowing for a better crossover between the Start screen and the traditional desktop. Looks to be a fantastic update. Certainly, if you're running Windows 8, I had recommended Windows 8.1. I will, in turn, recommend this update as well. Can't wait to give it a shot, to try it for myself. And I think this should address most of the complaints that people have had about Windows 8, coming really around the same time that Microsoft is killing off support for Windows XP. Yikes. So by addressing this, I would say, a rather large UX shortcoming with Windows, Microsoft is really trying to pull more people into Windows 8.1, or Windows 8, really. And I think Update 1 to Windows 8.1 to Windows 8 is a fantastic way of going. I think it was a brilliant move, really needed to happen, and only underscores everything that I was saying before Windows 8 shipped. I was right. I don't know what you guys wanted me to say. I was right. Microsoft has proven me right. So, if you hated me for my opinions, well, you shouldn't, because they're just my opinions. Everyone can have opinions, but I happen to be right about these opinions. And they're proving that I was right. So the start menu is coming back. If you were holding out on Windows 8 because you wanted that start menu, hold out no more. It is coming back. Is that going to be enough for you to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 8, from Windows XP to Windows 8, from Windows 2000, 98? Anybody still running those OSs? And they have a choice, right? Some people don't have a choice. They go to work, there's the machine, and it's running, some random wacky flavor of Windows that no one's ever seen before. So I think it's about time that it's happening, and I expect to hear a lot of people upgrading from Windows 7 to 8, if only because of the return of the start menu. It is still coming back, but it's still not the same start menu. Says Max 3009. Yeah, it's not the same, but it's better than nothing for the people who missed the start menu. I don't know what to tell you. You could go with a third-party client if you want, which some users are, keen on doing. In fact, they were using third-party hacks or additions to Windows 8 to bring back start menu-like functionality. The best start menu replacement that I've... Honey, you're feeding them corn chips.
You're not eating.
I hear them crunching.
That was me.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
There's nothing on there.
Sorry. Back to not crunching over here. I said it was okay for her to crunch in this office. Just trying to make a soundtrack here. So yeah, I think that the best implementation of a start menu is through Parallels by way of a virtual desktop. They did it very, very well, but now, that effort is... It's still there. It still works, and Parallels is great software if you need what Parallels has to offer. But now Microsoft is pretty much supplanting the values that I think that Parallels had to offer Windows users, specifically in virtual machines. Windows 8.1 is not the only announcement from Windows. Windows Phone 8.1 is coming with the Cortana beta later this spring. Cortana is like Google Now and Siri, but for Windows Phone. That's the easiest way to explain it. It'll pretty much function the same way. Will it work better? I don't know. I'm not really a fan of Siri. You guys have seen me kind of slag Siri up and down. I like Google Now. I think Google Now works better than Siri. Even on an iPhone, I use Siri for local needs. Inevitably, I seem to ask the wrong questions, or Siri doesn't understand what it is that I'm saying, and I just get frustrated. I usually use it to set the alarm. Set my alarm for 6 a.m. Bling! Okay, your alarm is set. That's how I usually use Siri. Even for calendar appointments, it's just easier sometimes to speak it. Cortana is a Windows Phone version of Siri or Google Now, and that's high level. I'm not getting into the deep dive of, which is better, and, it's not even out yet. It'll be in beta for Windows Phone 8.1 users coming this spring, and speaking of, if you happen to have a Nokia device that is running Windows Phone 8, you will be getting the Windows Phone 8.1 update for free when the update is available. So hold on to your existing Nokia devices if you happen to be having or owning or have your hands on a Windows Phone 8.1, Windows Phone 8.0 device. You'll get the Windows 8.1 update when it comes out later this spring or summer. Microsoft also debuted something called Universal Windows Apps for building cross-platform apps for Windows Phone 8.1, for Windows 8.1, the traditional desktop, and assumedly at some point in the future also Xbox. So it's very nice to see them unifying that language, if only to maximize the exposure. I think it's very smart for Microsoft to do that. That's going under the banner Universal Windows Apps. Big news for developers, big news for consumers, because if you like an app that's on the Xbox, if it was a Universal Windows app, it would also be available on your other devices as well, like a Windows or a Windows Phone. Kinect 2.0 for Windows has been announced. Higher specs, quality compared to the original Kinect. You might remember if you like the Kinect. We have a Kinect. We just never used it. I don't know, that whole gesture computing thing to me is still in the realm of gimmick. Virtual reality, augmented reality, gesture computing, gimmick. And gimmicks are fun. I like gimmicks, but I always just feel that's it. Okay, it works, but I guess maybe I'm not a Kinect fan. I was never really made to be one. I grew up in a time of a joystick. He had one little stick and a button. I'm a joystick fan. That's my gesture computing right there. I'm gesturing with the joy. DirectX 12 will give Xbox, Windows, and Windows Phone the same graphics platform. Again, Microsoft is pushing down the pike the idea of universality with their binaries, with their experiences across their own platforms. Very, very wise move. They also pre-announced Office for touch computing experiences, specifically Windows touch experiences. They showed off PowerPoint, said it wasn't ready yet. But, you know, I think if you look at Office for iPad and its touch capabilities and experiences, I think that only bodes very well for touch Office on the Windows platform. I mentioned that the other day as well. The Lumia is getting another series update. How many Lumias I saw? Like, they had them lined up like 10 or 12. Some insane number. I'm like, how could you even keep them straight? 930 was a big deal. Flagship Windows Phone 8.1 device when that does become available. And if you happen to be a worldwide user of the Nokia Lumia products, that would make you happy. If you wanted to jump into the world of Windows Phone, I'd say you can jump in now, get a Windows Phone 8 device, you know, at least a Nokia Windows Phone 8 device. It will be updatable to Windows Phone 8.1 according to Microsoft, and I think that's really it was a good suite of announcements from Microsoft. Even if you're not a fan of Microsoft, I think what they're doing is great for the industry. They're getting back into the game, very acting in very competitive ways, and I was not disappointed with anything that I heard from Microsoft today. I wasn't going really. I mean, I was like, oh really? Wow, cool. That works. Even if you don't want it, you got to understand that competition is healthy for everybody. And I think Microsoft, with the array of announcements they made, links in the video's description, direct links actually to, instead of like a third-party blog who's just reblogging something Microsoft said, I got the links directly to the Windows.com blog post, the Microsoft blog post, and the Nokia blog posts for you, as well as other things in the video's description. Thank you for tuning in and bearing with me as I sneezed. I thought it was going to be twice, but just once today. Thank you for being yourself, for remembering to like, comment, share, subscribe. When you guys see news that you find is interesting, that may or may not be covered everywhere else, and I have not covered it yet before, feel free to drop me a line, chris@pirillo.com. I am paying attention, believe it or not. Some days are a little busier for others for me, but I am paying attention. There's just only so much that one person can do. I just appreciate that you are one person who's absolutely making a difference, especially if you are a patron. Thanks again for remembering to like, comment, share, subscribe, watch more of our videos right now, and I guess at this point I will leave you to your own devices. We'll you later.